Hello and welcome to our Relay 101, where we go over important topics of the 19th annual Reno Tahoe Odyssey, the 11th annual Capital Odyssey, and the 9th Comstock Odyssey Relay. The RTO is one of the oldest overnight relays in America, and we are glad that you are joining us. My name is Matt Balzer. I'm the race director. I'm joined by Kelly Corrigan, who has been part of the RTO since 2013. I think Kelly's run it 3 times.
Yeah.
I've run it twice myself. So we want to give you guys a little insight as to what you have signed up for. I'd also like to thank Keimen Hoshizaki with the Quiet Anthem Company for producing this video for us. Let's dive in. First thing that we are going to cover is how you get in contact with us. If you need to contact us for any reason or you need more information before the race starts, you've got 3 options. First is go to the website for all 3 relays. Also, we have a runner's handbook that will be posted soon, and that is your Bible for the event. Or you can just ask. Reach out to us at the end of the presentation. We will have our contact information there, and we would love to help you out. So what are we going to cover today? First are just some of the basics, some very important relay safety guidelines. That is our top priority, keeping you safe out on the course. A few thoughts about how you get ready, key tips during the relay, so while you're actually running, surviving the relay, things like training, and of course, what is new in 2025. We know there are a lot of first-timers and a lot of you that have done this many times before, but there's always changes, so we'll cover those here too.
All right, so basics. The website. The website is your home for all kinds of answers to all of your questions, in addition to us. You're going to find a button on the website actually called Helpful Information. There are 3 different tabs on that. One of them are the Relay Basics. That's going to have a lot of helpful information just on what to expect, how to prepare, and everything else. A lot of tips that we've acquired from other runners, tips that we've had ourselves. They're all there for you. A checklist as well. When that list has grown over the years, we've added our own items. So it's things that you need as an individual runner, things that you might want to have as a team. So it's a super helpful checklist. Also for captains, there is a captain's hub where we've tried to consolidate a lot of information for all the captains. And so a place you can find all the answers, how to find a runner, how to manage your team, and so on. So hopefully you'll find that useful. Next, just kind of want to get into the very, very basics. A lot of you know this already, but this is a 178-mile relay race. There are 36 legs. You can see them all here. They're all different. They're all fun. They're all exciting. Fun, I guess. Anyhow, everyone will tell you they have a great time. Some people try to do all the different legs and everything. So your different runners are going to be running different legs. An average pace that we, as far as what we expect, because we want everybody to finish at a certain time on Saturday, is usually typically like an 11-mile pace. So kind of use that to gauge who's running which legs and so on. The Capital Odyssey you can see here on the map starts in Carson City. Those are the last 12 legs in, and then the Comstock Odyssey starts in Virginia City. Those are the last 6 legs in. So those teams don't have to worry about a lot of the same things that the RTO teams do, but they have just as much fun. So all the leg maps are also posted on the website. So if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, the elevation, the distance, everything as far as directions, those individual leg maps are also on the website. So that is a very useful tool, and we want you to print those off and have those in the van with you. All right, getting down to how you put together your team. RTO teams are typically 12 runners, unless you are a special breed, in which case those are the ultra runners. They run them with 6, but we're going to focus more on the 12 running teams. So just as a way to set those up, every runner has 3 different legs. So runner 1 would do leg 1, 13, and 25, and then you rotate through all the different runners. If you're running with fewer than that, then you'll figure out your own routine, but we do expect you to follow the same routine as far as working your way through the same rotation of runners. 12 runners means 2 vehicles. You need 6 runners in each vehicle. So van 1 will be leg run and runner 1 through 6. Van 2 will be leg and runner 7 through 12. So you're going to have a running vehicle and a resting vehicle at all times during the race. So you start out the race, and that is van 1 with runner 1 through 6. Once they are done, that second van will meet them after resting. They'll meet them at the exchange point. So, and so on as you rotate through all 36 legs, and we see you at the finish line. The Capital and Comstock run with 3 to 6 runners, although we did have somebody run the Comstock last year as an individual runner. Most of them do it with 3 to 6 runners, make it much more fun. 1 vehicle per team. All right, an additional information that is on the website as well is our relay leg assignments. Breaks down each runner's legs at the distances and how we rank them. We rank them easy, moderate, MD, most difficult, and most challenging. So it is a great way, it's a great chart to look at and figure out how you want to divide your legs, where you want strong runners, where you want more newbie runners, and you can look at the rankings and figure out who you want to assign each leg. So take a look at that. That's perfect information for you guys. Next, wanted to kind of get into some runner basics. You will have a slap, every team will have a slap band. That is something you officially hand off to one another. It doesn't have a timer on it. It's not a major official thing, but we do encourage you to hand that off. It makes it fun, so you feel much more like a relay. You are going to be tracking your time, especially if you are a team vying for one of the top positions in a division or overall. Not everybody has to turn in a team log, but we do encourage you to keep track of your times just in case. We will give you an actual log in your team envelope at team check-in, so we'll provide you with that. And teams do it different ways. You might want an old school clipboard, and you can put somebody can be in charge of that at every exchange point and write down the times you come in and out. So you can use that. Chargers and cell phones, make sure you take chargers in your vans because you will be communicating a lot with each van and also probably with home and spectators so they can find you along the route and cheer you on. So definitely lots of chargers are going on in the van, lots of cords happening. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the pace tracker worksheet. That's going to be going up on the website shortly. By the time you see this online, it'll probably be there and ready for you. That's a great tool for you to plug in your runners, their times, and figure out what time you're going to be at each exchange point. You can also update it as you go along and find out and determine whether you are on track or if you might need to be skipping a leg or making some other adjustments along the way. So anyhow, it's a great tool to use, especially once you get your start time. The other thing I wanted to make you aware of is you're going to get a leg 4 timing chip. This is our leg that actually is the only leg that gets timed on the race course. It's Donner's Downfall. This is the timing chip. Leg 4 runner only wears it for leg 4. They put it around their ankle, and there will be timing pads at the beginning and the end of leg 4 because the top male, top female, and 178th place actually get awards. So you want to make sure that you have that. It will be in your team envelope when you pick up your packets at team check-in. Next, every team decides what they want to have in their van. Everybody decides on what kind of supplies they want in their van. We don't provide those kinds of things. That's up to you because every team has their own ways of doing things as far as food and everything else. So please make sure you have what you need in your own van. All right, next, the other fun stuff. So not only are you going to be having fun out on the course, there are some contests that we have. So please be aware in case you want to jump in and participate. First one, best team name. That would be Matt and his wife that choose that. And those are already in, and I'm sure they've already been thinking about who's going to win that one. Yep. There's a best shirt, a best costume, and a most spirited team. The shirt and the costume, please tell us at the start line if you want to be considered so we can get a picture of your shirt, take a look at it, gauge it versus the other ones, and we will be awarding those after the race, after race week. Then the most spirited team and the most spirited exchange point, those are actually voted on by you. So please be aware as you're out on the course. Take a look, let us know what exchange point did the best. And I'll just tell you right now, the Dolan exchange point is not eligible because we expect them to do the Reno Taco Odyssey at exchange point 6 as always and just blow the roof off. So we're looking more at the smaller exchange points and everything. So take a look. You'll have a ballot in your packet and you can vote and turn that in. We ask that you turn that in when you finish. Same thing with most spirited team. Be on the lookout for a team that is just representing the RTO, supporting everybody around them and everything. So you'll get to vote on that. I already mentioned Donner's Downfall, leg 4. That is purely time. So, let us know. We will be looking for the fastest man, fastest woman, and the 178th place. So if you can figure out how to get 178th place, kudos to you. Circle of Fame. We are looking for you to let us know if you're going to join the Circle of Fame this year, and that means you will have done all 36 legs. So I know there's people out there that are trying to pick that off one by one. We've already had a bunch of people reach out and say they're going to be doing it this year, so they'll let us know, and Matt and I will find you at the finish and give you your awards. And then if you are celebrating your 5th, 10th, and 15th RTO or anything in between that earns you those, we have patches and buttons for that. Same thing for the 5th and the 10th Capital Odyssey and the 5th Comstock Odyssey. They'll be at the finish line. Just come over to our table and let us know, and we'll get you your goodies.
All right, thanks, Kelly.
Sure.
Now we will jump into some of the schedule. What can you all anticipate coming up here in the near future? So by now, every local team should have fulfilled their volunteer requirements. That was just a couple of days ago. So the next big date, highly anticipated, is the start time release. That will be on May 1st. So it is crucial that you put in accurate times for each runner on your team as an estimate of their 10K time. So if you have somebody that's going to run 55 minutes for a 10K, you put 55 in there. That allows us to accurately forecast when teams should start. We don't want you starting too early and then getting held up along the course because we have to stop you, and we don't want you starting too late where you risk not finishing by 4 o'clock on Saturday or being pushed ahead. Now, we do have protocols in place in case you would get behind where we can move you up and still make sure that each runner runs at least 3 times during the RTO. And all of that information will be in the runner's handbook. It will also be redelivered at the captain's meeting. So that's the next big one until our race weekend. Thursday, May 29th, we start off with, as I mentioned, the mandatory captain's meeting at the J Resort Glow Plaza. So we were at the J Resort last year. We're back there this year. We're actually back there for the entire event, which you'll see here coming up in these future bullet points. And that is where you check in and you show us that you have all of this lovely gear that we will go into on the next slide. As well as it's your time to get your team there. We've got food options for you there, answer any sort of questions, and for us to deliver the final messages that we need to get out about the course, safety, anything like that at the captain's meeting.
So Matt, I have a question.
Yes.
If I'm a team who's done this for years and years and years, do I still need to come?
It does not matter if you have done it 19 years. If this is your 19th year, and there are a few of them out there, or it's your first year, you absolutely have to come to the captain's meeting. It is mandatory. Later on that night, get lots of sleep. It's going to be a long, anywhere between 15 to 33 hours, depending on how long it takes you. We'll come back on Friday morning, again, back at the J Resort Glow Plaza. This will be our race hub for everything. So the cool thing is we've got one spot. We're going to have a beautiful setup there in just an incredible facility where you'll do captain's check-in, start, and even the finish. And that way you have to worry less about some logistics, where you're going to park, where you're headed on each day. It's all going to be at the J Resort Glow Plaza. And we'll start people Friday, May 30th, 6:30. The fastest teams are going to start all the way at the end of the day at 4. They're going to try and catch everybody. And ideally, we want most of the teams to arrive sometime around noon on Saturday for a great big celebration. High fives, beers, food, celebration.
Good fun.
All right, now we're going to go into some of the highlights of the safety features. Very, very important. As I mentioned, this is our #1 priority. It's a lot to take 2,700 people over 178 miles and keep everybody safe.
No.
I know, it's
We
what
got
we
it dialed
do.
in.
We love you. We care about you. So the first thing is night gear, having the appropriate night gear, being reflective and being able to be seen. This is of course for the runner, but it's also for anybody that's getting out of a van at nighttime. We know you want to get out there, you want to cheer your runners on either in the middle of their leg or towards the end of their leg. You're probably going to get close to the road to do it. It doesn't make sense to do that in an all black hoodie and sweatpants if you're standing on the side of the road and cars that aren't part of this race can't see you. So this is important first for runners, but also people getting out of the van. We're going to have a mandatory reflective vest for anybody that's running from dusk till dawn. Now, this is also required on legs 9 through 16, no matter what time of day it is. Those are very, very busy highway roads in most cases. So again, safety first priority. We've got a couple of different options for reflective vests here. The kind of standard reflective vest and some light up kinds. The light up kinds do an amazing job. You can typically see them from further away. We also require that you have a headlamp, and we require that you have 2 blinking lights on your body somewhere. One on front, one on back. Now, over the years, we've seen just about everything. I've seen somebody literally put on a hoodie over their reflective vest because they got cold during a leg, so that does not count. All of this stuff needs to be worn on the outermost layer of clothing so that we can see you and that other cars can see you. The last thing as far as safety goes is to respect property owners. We go through a lot of neighborhoods during the event, and of course you're driving through some of them at the wee hours of the night. We don't want anybody entering any private property other than what we have designated for the van exchange areas as well, because we love putting this on. We think that you love running it, and we want to be able to continue to do that for a long time.
Absolutely.
All right, next up is just some other things with the traffic laws. Can you run with a partner? Things of that nature. So this is not a closed course. All of the roads are open. We require both vans and runners to comply with all traffic laws. That means if you come to a crosswalk, you've got to wait until you get the go-ahead from the crosswalk to cross. Obviously, only be crossing roads when it's actually safe to do so. And same thing, your van needs to be respectful of all the traffic laws as well. You can, if you need to, run with a running partner, but they need to actually be running. It can't be somebody out there pacing you on a bike. And we also ask that your van not just follow you the entire time while you're running your leg. It's okay for the van to occasionally check in, but we want them to do that where they check in on you and then go to the next exchange point, so we don't have too many runners and vans all in the same place at the same time. Headphones, this is a big one. I know people love running with their headphones. We really prefer if you don't. Again, it's just a safety thing. If you must, the bone conducting type are really, really good at letting in ambient noise, or we just ask that you have one earbud in, and just kind of pro tip on this, have it be the ear side that is not open to traffic. Quiet zones. We have, as I mentioned before, some very sensitive neighborhoods that we go through, and neighborhoods that we go through in the middle of the night. So those zones are leg 7 and the start of leg 8. leg and exchange 16, so that's the Tahoe Keys, and that's done usually late at night, wee hours in the morning, and then legs 22 and 23. We'll have people out there with signs saying that this is a quiet zone. You can be loud and really spirited during the whole rest of it, but please not there. That's a good time just to drive to the next exchange point, let your runner do their thing in peaceful silence while they go through their leg. It's up to you to know your individual legs. So the best way to do this is, if you can, get out there and run them. If you know what leg you're running, try and preview that leg. But if not, look them up on a map. As Kelly mentioned, we've got amazing leg maps up on the website now, thanks to Leland. And they've got fantastic directions. So know those, memorize them, or even better, print them out and bring a copy of that with you. There are specific instructions for both runners and vans, because again, everywhere that a runner goes is not possible for a van to go. So the vans need to follow the leg map instructions as well. We ask that you run on the shoulder outside of the white line. Most of the time during this race, you are running actually with traffic. We have deemed that that is safer, so we don't have runners crossing back and forth over the road. You're actually running with traffic, so stay as far right as possible when you are running with traffic. And just in general, be alert out there. And it's, you are ultimately responsible for your own safety. We're going to do everything that we can for you, but sometimes there's bears. Sometimes there's
not bears.
Random people driving around that don't know what we're doing out there. So just be alert, be aware, and you'll have fun.
Represent us well. All right, getting ready. Train. Did we say train? Yes, you should train. You should actually train. This is not something you can get up off your desk and go do. So you should be training at this point. Try to train the total length of your legs as well. If you can't get out, like Matt said, and get on the actual legs out on the course, then try at least to do the distances. We recommend that you train as if you're training for a half marathon, if that's helpful. And anyhow, just be ready. And we do have, if you can do some hills, if your legs are hills, try to get out and do those kinds of things. Try to do a night run, and we actually do have a night run as one of our practice runs again this year. But make sure you know, how does this feel on you when you run? Women, when you put your blinky lights on the back, make sure your hair's not covering it, just like a hoodie. So, practice with all your gear on. Make sure people can see you. Overdo it. But you also want to, it's very different running at night. I don't know, I prefer running at night. It's very peaceful. My legs on the RTO are just absolutely incredible, and watching the sun come up. So anyhow, get out there, run at night. Try to start doing some 2-a-day runs, so your body gets used to feeling, what's it like to run and then run again 4 or 5 hours later. Then try a few 3-a-days, because that's ultimately what you're going to be doing. But then when you're done, you're all good to go. Attend our practice runs, like I said, at the time, and actually at the time of this recording, there'll be 4 practice runs left, and we encourage you to be there and come and join the fun there. A lot of teams come, and if it doesn't even matter if you're running that leg, everybody wants to support each other and everything. So please come do that. Bottom line is, set yourself up to succeed. Be ready physically, be ready mentally. You are going to have a fabulous time, and it's going to be like nothing else you've experienced if you haven't done this before. And we hope to see you back. Like Matt said, we've got some people coming back for the 19th year. So there's something to be said there.
Heck yeah. All right, during the relay, couple of key tips. I said it before, but know your legs. It is way more fun if you don't get lost out there, I promise. The best way to do that is to run beforehand your legs if you can, but we've got the maps, print them out. Be attentive and alert. Said that before as well. It really, really helps to kind of have your head on a swivel and just be aware that other things are going on. Stay in contact with your van. So what we mean there is the van can check in on you. We prefer that they don't follow you, but they can check in. Number 4 is drive ahead. So this one is for the vans. specifically if a van does not have an active runner. So if van 1 is running, we want van 2 to drive as soon as possible to the next major van exchange point. So that's every 6 legs is a next major van exchange point, especially, excuse me, especially around Tahoe. There's just not enough room for 2 vans for every running team. So that's what we mean by drive ahead. Be really nice to the volunteers. It takes about 475 volunteers to orchestrate this amazing run, and we really appreciate them. We know you appreciate them too, so if you can give them a high five or a thanks for helping out, it goes a long way when they're out there at 2 in the morning making sure you get to the exchange points safely. Be nice to neighbors and motorists. We are visitors in most of these places, and it requires permits for almost every foot that we travel through on 178 miles. And a lot of these neighborhoods are allowing us to visit because you all have done so well in the past. Don't run too fast on your first leg. Kelly was going over some of the training stuff. I have certainly done this personally, where you go out hot and you realize that, gosh, I'm running kind of like 3 all-out 10Ks in a 1-day period. So pace yourself. Kelly mentioned run it a little more like it's a half marathon than if your first leg is 3 miles. Don't try and PR in the first 3 miles. Power walk. It's totally okay to power walk up those steep sections. In a lot of cases, it's actually faster. And this next one, number 9, no vehicles over 20 feet. So we do not allow any sort of motorhome. So even if it's a small Class C motorhome, of course a Class A motorhome, those are not allowed. It will subject you to being potentially dropped from the race altogether and maybe not allowed to participate in the future. You are, however, allowed to drop a motorhome at Exchange Point 24. That is the Walmart in Carson City. Lots of people do this where they'll put a motorhome or a trailer down there as a place to sleep, but no motorhomes driving around the race course. And of course, read the runner handbook for all the important updates. There will probably be a couple between now when we record this and when race day happens. Again, 178 miles, things happen, and we want you to stay updated. That is the best place to check in on it.
Yep, several states, I don't know how many counties and how many cities, so yes, there may be changes. And the runner's handbook we do anticipate being available the 1st of May as well. So keep your eyes posted for that. So surviving the relay, just some tips. I'm sure if you're on a team that has veterans, they will tell you some of these same things. And if not, please ask them. Stay warm and dry. We don't know what the weather's going to be like. I mean, we've run this and it's snowed, it's rained, it's been hot, it's been cold. Make sure you are prepared for anything. What I usually do is I take a Ziploc bag and I've got what I'm wearing for leg 2 and leg 3, and then some other options. I usually juggle a couple pair of shoes just in case something happens. So anyhow, stay warm and dry. And especially at night too, you want to keep your muscles warm. You might want to do some dynamic warm-ups before you run, stretch and foam roll after you run. You may end up having somebody, bring a foam roller and having it in the van so everybody can use it. So, those are great things to have available to anybody. And you guys will see people, especially as you get your first and second and heading into your third leg, you're gonna get a little sore. So please take care of yourself there. Suggested foods. So this is definitely something that you know your body, or you will know your body pretty quickly, but you're going to want to have some carbs and proteins available and figure out when to eat them. A burger place may sound and look phenomenal after your first leg, but I really don't think you want to do that unless you're very good at digesting it quickly and heading back out. But again, ask people. We do have that information on the checklist. Bagels and rice cakes and peanut butter and chocolate milk and bananas and all those kinds of things, jerky, all that are great to have on hand.
Easy,
just in case.
digestible foods.
Yes, 100%. I'm not a nutritionist, but I will tell you, Matt and the staff at Reno Running Company at the retail stores, they're very good at being able to tell you, give you some ideas of what to take, especially about hydration and everything else. They've got a lot of resources. They've got a lot of knowledge. So go to them and find out, what you should be eating or what might be safe to eat and everything. So, and then figuring out when to eat it, right after your leg, right before your leg, whatever. Start looking at, as you train, figure out what sounds good, what feels good, what sits well, and what gives you energy and helps you recover. Extra clothes. Again, you're going to want to have things such as, you finish your second leg and it's late at night. I want my soft fuzzy socks and I want Birkenstocks, or I want flip-flops. So bring those kinds of things. UFOs will be at the finish line at the Reno Running Company retail booth. So if you want some phenomenal shoes to put your feet in at the end, they're going to have some there for you. So do that, and just be hydrating the entire time. It's really going to take a toll as it gets hotter. Knock on wood, it gets hotter as the race goes on Saturday morning, as we hope it's a beautiful day. But keep hydrating, whatever that looks like, whether it's electrolytes or water or something else. Please hydrate. I know you're going to want to have that Bloody Mary up in Virginia City, but be smart. That's all I'll say.
And on the subject of hydration, few places, unless you're from Vegas or Phoenix, are as dry as Reno is in the summer. So you can be running and really not sweating all that much. So that gets people into trouble, especially if you're from a more humid climate, because you're used to sweating. You think, I've got to replace all these fluids and electrolytes. Hydration's not just water, but fluid and electrolytes. And you need to do that as much here as you would do anywhere, even though the sweat is nowhere near what you would get, say, in Florida.
And that's something your team might want to invest in for each van is, a couple cases of water so that you make sure everybody's got what they need.
Yep. All right, so what's new this year? We've got a couple of course updates, a few course updates actually. Because of our new location at the J Resort Glow Plaza, legs 1 and legs 36 are a little bit different because we'll be starting and finishing in a different place. Exchange point 2, we are back at Homewood, yay. So that's our second major van exchange at leg 12, at the end of leg 12. And we'll be at Homewood, but it may be in a slightly different parking lot. So again, runner's handbook to see where the final location is for that, and the captain's check-in. We will certainly have it figured out by then. Exchange point 16 is no longer a rolling exchange. So if you've done this event for the last few years, that has been where you can exchange anywhere along legs, around the end of leg 16. But now we have an official exchange point. And exchange point 18, which we are super excited about, this is the one in South Lake. We've got a beautiful new location for this one. There's a park involved, so great for the non-running van to drive ahead. Big grass fields you can lay out, you can take a nap, bring a sleeping bag, bring a roll-out mattress, and have a really, really nice relaxing time there. Of course, again, leg maps, runner's handbook, that's where all of these final updates are going to be. Sponsors, we've got the Nevada Army National Guard returning as our presenting sponsor this year. So we want to thank them and all the really cool things that they do, including their display in Virginia City at Exchange Point 30. Dolan Auto Group, as Kelly mentioned, the Reno Taco Odyssey at Exchange Point 6. You've got tacos for everybody, water games, all sorts of fun up at the Tahoe Forest Church. And another kind of big change this year, we've got Alibi Ale Works on for our beer, but they also have their new Hoppy Hour, which is a hop-infused sparkling water. So if you don't want an alcoholic beverage after, we've got multiple options for you there. We've got tons of great food vendors and a whole list of amazing sponsors up on the website. Please go and check them out. Again, this wouldn't be possible without especially volunteers and sponsors. And finally, merchandise. So this is an amazing accomplishment, and we want you to have great merch to celebrate and commemorate. We've got amazing hats, we've got new shirts, jackets, all sorts of things that will be on sale starting at Thursday, the Captain's Check-In. So again, that's the first place, Team Check-In, that you'll have an opportunity to buy this stuff. And then again, all day Friday during the start, and whatever's left over at the finish on Saturday.
Make sure you buy, if you see something you want, buy it right away, because it will likely disappear. So
Yeah,
anyhow.
almost every item sold out last year. We did more items this year, but we anticipate that they will sell out too.
Great. All right, and actually that's it for our presentation. Biggest takeaways, please look and read the Runner's Handbook. We expect you all to be reading that. Study your leg maps, and I would suggest printing off the leg maps and the Runner's Handbook and having a copy in each of the vans in a binder. You can recycle it later for those of you who are environmentally conscious. In closing, this is an absolute amazing relay. We enjoy putting it on. We enjoy seeing all your smiling faces out there. We can't wait to see you again this year. Have a wonderful time. And if you have any questions, call or email us. We're here for you. Our contact information is on the screen. You know, both of us and Julie and even more are available to help you through the process and make you comfortable with what you're about to tackle. And anyhow, thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the starting line.
See you in May. Good luck.